Hi friends, and welcome to my channel. So I'm still on this heartbreak thing and just trying to get it out there to all of you people that it's okay, you'll be okay, everything will be fine. So what I did, since I found my manuscript to my book, How Am I Loving Him, taught me how to love myself, I wrote down in here exactly how I felt week by week. So I'm going to just go over that with you and the phases that I went through as I dealt with this heartbreak and losing someone that I really loved a lot. So I'm going to just be straight up and tell you the truth. I couldn't let him go. I was just too much connected to him, so I really couldn't let him go. So I said bad things to make him not want to ever talk to me again. But of course, I regretted it when he actually didn't talk to me anymore. So what I have here so far, oh, before I forget, please subscribe, like, hit the notification bell, and feel free to message me, okay? So anyway, back to this. So I've got my week one. So the first week after we broke up, I wrote, after we broke up, I was devastated. I did not know what to do with myself. I called, I texted, I begged him to talk to me, to explain to me why he didn't want to see me anymore, which I actually knew why, because I said bad things to make him never want to see me again. But I knew that I was going to reach out to him because just, you know, I had no choice. I just loved him that much. So my heart was broken. My world was crumbling around me, and I didn't understand what happened, which I really did. I just didn't understand why he really let me go. Because he always just, I could do anything, and he just always forgave me. But this time he didn't. But that's okay, because that's what I wanted. That was my goal. So I sent him text after text, begging him not to let me go. I tried telling him he was making a mistake and letting me go. I prayed every day, not for me, but for him. I cried a lot. I felt my heart breaking. I felt so alone in my mind and constantly going, wondering why, trying to figure out what I did wrong, why couldn't I get this man to love me? What did I do so wrong that he couldn't love me? This is how I'm feeling. This is week one. You know, it was hard. It was hard for me. I'm not going to lie. And I put that the pain was terrible. It was very hard for me. The pain was terrible. The emptiness was unbearable. There was no words to express what you are going through after that real breakup. When you realize that this person that you love is not coming back to you. He's gone. He's done. Every day I felt like I was in some kind of nightmare. It didn't seem real. Like I felt like I was dreaming, and I would keep telling myself, wake up, girl, wake up, wake up. You know, just get out of this nightmare. But it wasn't a dream. The pain was real. The heartache was real. I truly believed that my love was strong enough to hold this man. I thought, and I said that before, I really thought my love was strong enough to hold him, to keep him. Because I thought I loved us enough for both of us, I figure, I guess. I guess that's what I was thinking in that time. You know, so I mean, and you know, not only did I lose my lover, but to me, I lost my best friend. He was my best friend. Apparently I wasn't his best friend, but that's pretty much what I was going through in week one. I was completely devastated. So if you're in that initial beginning stage of a breakup, these are probably the things that you're feeling. This is probably what you're going through. I do remember, I didn't write it in here because I really didn't start writing all of this until like maybe 6 weeks, 7 weeks after, when I had to get it out. I had to write everything down. I needed, you know, but I needed to just get it out. And I did feel alone. I didn't, you know, everybody's like, oh, you'll get over it. You'll get over him and all that stuff. He didn't deserve you. But nobody was feeling my pain. Nobody was understanding where I was coming from. They just like, you know, just let it go. Just forget him. Just move on. I mean, how can you move on when when your heart is breaking, when you want something so much and you can't have it, they just left. It's horrible. It's like I said, it's like somebody's dying on you, and you just never get a chance to say goodbye, to be friends. We promised that we was going to be friends forever. We promised that, and he was always be like, you keep the memories. Like, so every moment we shared, I kept in my head. I kept those memories. I lived by them, which in the long run actually pretty much sucks. So because, as he's running around not thinking about me, I'm thinking about all the fun times, all the good times, all the closeness we shared together. So, yeah, so that first week was hard. It was rough. And, I remember just crying. I would go to work. They would play a song that had his name in it. And I would just cry on the table. I would have to get tapped off and, go pull myself together. I mean, after I made it through work, as soon as I got in my car, I would just start crying. When I saw a car like his, or like he had a Jeep, one of those Jeeps and a Porsche, when I saw that, when I saw one of those kind of cars, I would just start crying. And I would just always just like would be out, and I'd be like, I know he's going to come look at me. I would look out my window. I was like, I know he's going to come here. He's going to come here and try to talk to me and try to make things better. And he just never did. And I would just, like I said, I called, I texted, I'm sorry. I really didn't mean what I was saying. And I knew I was going to do that. That's why I was so aggressive in my words when I know I needed to get rid of this guy. I know I needed to not see him, because I knew he was hurting me. I knew he was hurting me every time that we weren't together. I just knew that he was hurting me. So and I knew he was out there doing other things. He said he would go on a business trip or something, and he's on a cruise with some girl or doing something or whatever. But I'll tell you about that later, how I found out about all of this. But I knew somewhere deep in my soul, I knew I deserved better, and I had to let it go, and I knew I couldn't. So I said bad things to make him never want to talk to me again, like I said. But then again, in my head, I couldn't believe that he actually wasn't actually going to forgive me or talk to me anymore, because he always forgave me before when I, went off the edge, or if you want to call it. He always said our relationship was an emotional roller coaster, and I always thought it was me making it that way, but it wasn't. It wasn't me making our relationship or an emotional roller coaster, because we had no relationship. I was in a relationship with him, but he wasn't in a relationship with me. I was just his little plaything, a couple of times a week, or I would go stay there a few times, every week, but just for 3 days, and I had to come home and go back to work. So I was pretty much just his plaything, because he was doing other things with other people when I wasn't around. So that first week was hard. Like I said, I cried, I texted, I begged. I couldn't understand it. I prayed to God so much. Please, Lord, just please, please, please let him call. I wasn't even thinking about me at that time. I really wasn't thinking. All I wanted was him. All I wanted was him to call me. And I was like, I'm sorry, Lord, that I said what I said. And I would text him, I'm sorry that I said what I said. And, he would just, he just wouldn't text me back, or just, wouldn't answer me, which was his thing anyway. For a while, whenever I made him mad, he would totally and completely ignore me. That was my form of punishment. He was punishing me for saying how I felt and displaying my feelings to him. So he would punish me by not talking to me, which made it to me, that was horrible. It was a bad thing to do. And then, after a week or so, then he would call and say, and be like, are you better now? And I would be like, yes, I'm not gonna make mistakes again, and stuff like that. And I went through that. I dealt with it. It was just a part of my loving him. I just did whatever. I accepted everything he dished out to me. So when we that first week initially, when it was pretty much, he's like, I don't ever want to talk to you to you again. And I was just like, I'm sorry, and I'm like, forgive me and all of that. And it just didn't happen. He didn't in that time. I think after a year he did reach out to me, talk about, I miss you, baby girl, but by then I was over it. I was done. But in that initial first week, nothing. Like, I was being punished, and I thought that's exactly what I was being, but he really was mad at me, and I don't blame him. That was the goal. That was my point. As I keep saying, sometimes you can't let something go. You can't let somebody go. You got to find a way to make them let go of you, because he would have just kept playing me. I would still be sad now, and I wouldn't be happily married to a man that adores me right now if I would have kept on with that game with him. So I couldn't be hurt like that anymore. Like I was happy when we were together. And then, when he was calling me, texting me, and how, good night, baby girl, good morning, baby girl, all this stuff and everything. But when he was out doing his thing or whatever he was doing, he would put me, I guess, like on your phone where you put them on silent, or whatever you put where you block the call, or I don't know how it goes. So he wouldn't answer me, and I would just like get so upset and cry and stuff like that. But then 3 days later he'd be like, you coming to visit me? And I'm just like, yes, I'll be right there. And I would jump on a train and a little ferry thing. I would jump on my train, go to New York, or catch the ferry, cross over the river, and go into Jersey, and go to his house. Or sometimes he just met me at the train station. But whatever, I would do all of it. I would get on it. It didn't make a difference. As soon as he said come, I was like, I'm there. I was like there. And it sucked. I mean, it was good and all that, because I learned a lot. But don't give yourself completely to somebody like that, especially when they take advantage of your love. And my love was definitely taken advantage of. He knew he didn't love me. He knew how I felt about him, but yet he kept me going for a year and a half. He just kept me on his little leash for like almost a year and a half. And I think that was really pretty cruel. I don't think it was a really nice thing to do. And I didn't respect myself enough to see that. I just wanted him so bad. I wanted his stuff. I wanted what he had. I wanted to be his baby forever. No, it didn't happen. And I just really didn't think about me. I say, and as you hear me talking, you say, well, I wanted him. I wanted his stuff. Everything was all about him. Him. Everything was all about him in my life. I would be with my family. As he would call, I would jump and I would run to the phone, run and answer my phone and just talk to him. I just anything that had to do with him. I was up and I was going, and I was like, I'm yours. I'm not going to call myself a fool, but I was foolish and not respecting myself. And like I said, if you can't respect yourself, if you can't love yourself, then who else is going to love you? So that, my friends, is my first week. That was the first week after my heartbreak. And it's a horrible feeling. But you are not alone. You are not alone. There are other people that are going through this. And I did search online. I tried to find help. Like, I tried to find people to talk to, and I couldn't find anything or anybody that understood what was happening. So when I did find my manuscript, I promised myself that I would post it. I would put it on my YouTube, on my channel, for everybody to see and to hear and to know. And if you need somebody to listen to or talk to, at least you can see that there is a future. Your life is not over. And and I mean, even if something did happen to me, thank God it didn't, he wouldn't have never even knew, because we were done. And I was just so busy just praying and thinking and crying and all of that stuff. So the first week was really, really rough. The first week is going to be rough. I'm sure my second week was too, but we'll get to that on my next video. So make sure you check out. I do believe I have about 10 weeks that I wrote down of what I was going through. So the first week when you break up, of your breakup with somebody that you really and truly love, is not going to be a good week. Especially if you're running after them, chasing after you, and they make you feel so good and special and everything, and then they're not there anymore. It's really not going to be a good week. But you still got to go out there. You still got to do your thing. You still have to work. You still have to, you know, you have to fight through it, because it does get better. I mean, I can even say to this day, and it's been 4 years since I talked to, the last time he called me, like maybe 3 years ago, but I just immediately hung up the phone, but and changed my number just in case, because that's the effect that this person had on me. So, and I can still say to this day, no matter, even though what I went through with him, I still love him, like, and I always will, because love is just love, and that's just how it goes. But I would never ever want to have that kind of that intense roller coaster, messed up, chasing after somebody kind of love again. I don't ever want to experience that again. I like my life with my husband that I have now. It's mellow, it's easy, we love each other. It's no test, it's not hard. It's easy for us to love one another, and that's how love should be. That's what love is. That's what true love is, when you mutually feel the same together, not one person feeling one thing and the other person not feeling anything at all. So yeah, that week one was rough. It was super duper rough, but I got through it, and so will you. If you're going through a heartbreak, if this is new, if this is you know, you will be okay. Cry, like I said in one of my videos. Cry, let it out. That's it for today on from my little book, How My Loving Him Taught Me How to Love Myself, and how I healed myself, how I went through all the stages, all the emotions and everything. And I'm here because I want you to know that you are not alone. You are not alone. You will smile again. You will smile again. I promise you. Don't give up. Love yourself. Look in the mirror. Look at yourself and say, I love you. And if you can't actually do that at this moment, still do that exercise every day, and eventually you will find yourself, the person that you truly are, and you will begin to love that person that's inside of you. So just remember that, okay, my friends? And that was week one of my heartbreak. I have all of it down, and I will share it with you, and hopefully that you can get some kind of peace, and or at least in some understanding of what's happening to you and what you're going through, and see that there is a light, there is love for you in the future, down the road, the kind of love that you deserve. So that's it for now. Thank you. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell, and send comments and like, and don't forget, you are beautiful when you are loved. Bye.